The air in the small village of Ukul, Tanzania was thick with sorrow. Friends and family had gathered, their faces etched with the familiar pain of loss. They were there to bury Ismail Azizi. A coffin, humble and hastily made, sat waiting. Inside lay a man they had known their whole lives, now still and silent. The rituals had begun. Murmurs of prayer, quiet sobs, a final somber farewell. But this gathering was about to be shattered by something profoundly strange. Just as the final preparations were being made, a sound came from within. At first dismissed as wind, then it came again, louder. The lid began to move. From his would-be grave, Ismail sat up, blinking in the harsh sunlight. He was alive. They screamed and ran. This was not the first time. Shock had curdled into deep-seated fear. People whispered, "Ghost, witch, creature." Long before he became known as the man who could not die, Ismail Azizi's life was a testament to struggle. Born into profound poverty in Ukul, his childhood was one of constant, grinding hardship. There was never enough food, money, or opportunity. Ismail dreamed of wealth, but the path was blocked by circumstances of his birth. The first time Ismail officially died was sudden and violent. A terrible workplace accident, his body broken, life seemingly extinguished. Friends rushed him to hospital, doctors pronounced him dead after brief assessment. The news was delivered with clinical finality. In the cold morgue, Ismail woke to intense, biting cold. His mind swam in fog, but he sat up, walked through the door, emerged back into the living world. The second time, there was no accident, only creeping malaria. For days he lay sick, untended, until neighbors finally intervened. Again declared dead, placed in coffin. But as they prepared burial, the unbelievable happened again. His eyes fluttered open to find himself enclosed in dark, narrow space. The whispers started louder. Witch began clinging to his name. Even doctors who treated him multiple times grew frightened. The third incident, horrific collision with fuel tanker, thrown into deep coma, life hanging by thinnest thread, again pronounced dead. Again he returned. Fourth time, snakebite while farming alone, poison coursed through veins, died quickly, remained in morgue 3 full days. When family came to retrieve his body, they found him sitting up, looking alive. Some fainted. Everyone ran in terror. The sixth death was not by accident but by deliberate hand of his community. Fear and suspicion boiled over. A mob gathered, convinced he was a witch. They set his house on fire. Flames engulfed the structure. Thick smoke choked him. A few tried to help, but it was too late. Yet the story did not end. In a turn-defying explanation, Ismail woke up again in the cold hospital morgue. He had been burned, suffocated, declared dead. Yet here he was, alive. His resurrection sent shockwaves through Ukul. In a community steeped in traditional belief, his story was filtered through folklore, witchcraft, the supernatural. The boundary between living and dead is sacred, should not be crossed. By returning 6 times, Ismail violated that law of nature. The consequence of Ismail's incredible story is crushing loneliness. Today, he lives as a recluse, a hermit in his own community. He takes care of himself, cooks for himself, does all housework alone. He cannot find work. Who would hire a man they believe is a ghost? "People are afraid of me," he says with heartbreaking clarity, "so I can't get a job or earn money like others." In quiet reflection, Ismail grapples with meaning of his fate. He doesn't see himself as special, nor revel in apparent inability to die. His message to the world is not anger, but profound wisdom. Live well with others. Even if you have problems, put God first and don't hurt those around you. Sometimes what happens is beyond their control. This plea for kindness comes from a man shown very little of it. We are all unique in our own ways, each carrying invisible struggles. His story holds up a mirror to our tendencies to judge and ostracize those who are different. Before we mistreat someone, we should ask ourselves, what if it were me? The ultimate lesson is not about mysteries of life and death, but about how we live with one another. We should not always fear what we don't understand. Treating others with kindness can make all the difference, whether they are an ordinary neighbor or a man who has walked back from his own grave.